Hello, Steeler Nation. Welcome to Stryker's Inside Slant. Obviously, the con artist has done it again. Absolutely killing, tampering the tampering period. My Lord, we got one of the best quarterbacks available for league minimum. He will be costing less than $1 million next season, $978,000. That is insane for a guy not only the caliber of Russell Wilson, he was also my number one wish get last year in free agency. Stryker, you didn't want Aaron Rodgers? Nope. No part of Aaron Rodgers. Guy's a head case. But Russell Wilson, that's a guy that's, I think, going to do a much better job here in Pittsburgh under our coaching staff, under Mike Tomlin's tutelage. And also, it's finally in a place where he doesn't have to be the guy anymore. Steelers have a good defense. They've got a quality running game. They're rebuilding that offensive line, which they need to continue to do. Might be grabbing a center here coming up soon. Fingers crossed. We'll have to see. But that was a huge move for nothing. Didn't cost us a thing. And then what else do we go out and do? We went up and picked up our enemy from the other side of the division over in Queen, the inside linebacker. That was a huge get. Absolutely huge get. And the biggest part of that get was his $13 million a season that he signed for. His line mate signed for like 23 to 25 mil last year. I was thinking he was pushing 18 to 20 in free agency. He went for 13. That's how much he wants to play against his old team, who just picked up Derrick Henry, who has two-time MVP Jackson back there throwing around the football. I mean, this is it, guys. It's nice to have a guy that wants to play against his old team like this. If he stays healthy, and he's been a healthy inside linebacker his whole career, just went through his stats. Hasn't missed many games. So I'm psyched that we got Patrick Queen for little to no money. 13 mil is nothing for an inside linebacker of his caliber. You got to think about, we're paying 10 mil a season for like Miles Jack. 10 mil a season for Schubert before him. Schubert Dip. Schobert. Big Show. Guys, we're finally putting our money where the mouth is. And we're picking up the guys that are going to be difference makers on this team. I didn't think we were going to address inside linebacker at all. Now we just picked up a corner in a trade. Deontae Johnson just leaving the team in news that just happened before this show. Steelers trade Deontae Johnson to the Panthers for cornerback Deontae Jackson. For a pick swap as well, Steelers will get 178, which is a high 6th round pick, the number 2 pick in the 6th round, whereas they'll trade that out for their mid to late 7th round pick at 240. That's a good value with that. I mean, obviously, I love Deontae Johnson. I think he's one of the best X receivers in the league. He's one of the best at getting open, but evidently hasn't been happy the last couple of years with Kenny Pickett. I thought, honestly, they were going to end up keeping Deontae Johnson since they end up signing Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is going to need that safety valve just to help out. So, like, that was like a big move I thought they were going to stick with. Instead, we end up with Johnson. I grabbed his stats here quickly. Let me see if I can find him. Deontae Jackson, sorry. Coming in. He's got some decent stats. Now, I'll tell you the things that I like. I'll tell you things I don't like. Pretty consistent at intercepting footballs, right around 3 to 4 a year. He's averaging about 3 on his career. Didn't have any last year, played every game last year. Only 1 year he didn't play pretty much the whole year. 9 games was 2 years ago. Still with a forced fumble last year. Lots of tackles. 59 tackles. That's the thing I like about him. That's something that Steelers like about a corner that can tackle. And when you got Jackson coming in at 5'10", 180, throwing some lumber, coming down and helping out in the run game, 5 TFLs. Most of his tackles are solo. Out of those 59, 49 of them were solo tackles. So he's making plays in the screen game. He's making plays at the line of scrimmage or just behind the line of scrimmage, keeping his guy to short yardage. That's what the Steelers love, especially out of a number 2 guy. Guys, this is your show. We're taking your questions. We're taking your comments. What do you have to say, Steeler Nation? Coming over to you. Miles, of course, starting the show. Miles always starts the show, no matter how long I have time off. Way to see you, Miles. Good to see you again, Miles. Thank you for the call out. Michael, Hall of Fame. We are live. Chow Chow Dad coming in. Hey, Stryker, lots of moves already. Exactly. Like a lot more moves than I thought the Steelers going to make in the tampering period, but we just started jettisoning players. And honestly, jettisoning players that we had to get rid of. I'll go through a couple here, starting back at the beginning of February, where we had to say goodbye to Presley Harvin III, Chooks Okorafor, and Mitch Trubisky. Chooks and Mitch already re-signed contracts, and it was a big get for the Steelers to do it that early because it happened way before free agency started. Those guys have jobs. Presley Harvin's going to probably have to show somebody in training camp that they can win one. Then the Steelers signed Dylan Cook to a 1-year contract, released Mason Cole, which was another move that I was slightly surprised about. Guy was playing injured for us. He was a tough-nosed guy. He just didn't stay healthy the entire time in Pittsburgh. We also had to release Keanu Neal. Unfortunately, I love Keanu Neal, but he was injured, failed his physical. That is his designation. That's why he's not on the team. Then the Steelers signed Braden Fehoko, which we liked at nose tackle last year, bringing him in at the end of free agency. Also released Patrick Peterson, the longtime excellent cornerback. Obviously, he lost his stuff last year. He was more of a slot guy, rotational guy. He's going to be a safety. I think he's going to sign on a team to be a free safety this year. But right now, that just did not work out at his price point. Maybe the Steelers call him back in for free safety. I don't know. But Allen Robinson had to go. We talked about his contract, that $11 million a season just was not going to work for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. So unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbled for those guys. And we have room to sign people now. With the cap ballooning up as well, we're still well within under the cap. Steelers could still go after a strong safety, though I looked at all the available strong safeties. I like KZ. KZ's on our team. I mean, do we really have to get one or we just draft one? I don't know. Maybe pick up a slot corner as a possibility, but that's what we have to look at. Claude, what's up, Claude? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see all the regulars back on the show. Michael, con artist strikes again. Absolutely. Miles, I love Omar, but DJ gets done dirty and out. Return was ass. I agree. I absolutely agree. Absolutely. I think as soon as we signed Russell Wilson, I think that he should have immediately been taken off of the trading block unless he strictly told Khan, I don't want to play for you anymore. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I would ever have moved DJ. Guys, let's review his career. Good X receiver, according to PFF, the best receiver off the line of scrimmage and getting open on routes. Yes, he had some drops, less than the top receivers in the league. Still made a Pro Bowl, was a great returner as well at punt return, but didn't do that after made his Pro Bowl as a receiver, not as a punt returner. Actually, technically, he got his All-Pro as a punt returner. Had good numbers. It was putting up AB type numbers until a year ago when Kenny Pickett started coming in, and then the numbers just dropped. So that might be a reason why he's upset at the numbers he was getting here in Pittsburgh. You know, he's used to wanting to get around 100 catches a year. Not going to be happy around 50 to 60. Just not. And I understand that. And dude is way better than those types of numbers. But that's the way we had to move on. At least we got somebody for him, traded a pick. We also made up, it looks like from the deals, I just went off a quick math. It's going to be somewhere between $3 to $5 million we save in this deal. So yes, it's a reason why we didn't get as good of a deal. It's because we saved another $3 to $5 million off of the cap. Probably going to be closer to 3 with all the likely to be earned incentives. So it's going to be right around $3 million that we're going to save with this trade that we can flop back into free agency to the draft, sign our guys, get our go. So that's an aspect that I am not upset about. But I do not like to see DJ going. He's one of my favorites. Absolutely love DJ. Miles, and hey, that's disrespectful to future Vice President Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Aaron anywhere near our football team. And if Green Bay's smart, they don't ever want him back either. Adam Bomb in the house. What up, Stryker? Here we go. Steelers. Thanks, Adam. Good to hear from you, my friend. Encino, welcome to the show. The Deontae Johnson trade was a robbery. Completely agree. I thought we were robbed. I don't know if you agree. He was one of my favorite Steelers. Absolutely loved him. Plus, he took Steeler fans, Steeler Nation, you're always saying, oh, they got to stay from free agency. We'll give them the hometown discount. They'll take. Deontae Johnson actually took a hometown discount. In a year in free agency where everybody else was getting 20 mil, 18 to 20 to 23, he came back and signed for 13 mil a season for 3 years. Insane. That makes a reason why you can trade a guy like that, because it's a low salary for a high caliber guy that's going to be your X receiver, your wide receiver, that's going to get the most amount of receptions or targets because he's always open. So that aspect of it, I hate to see go, but I understand what they're trying to do. We just need to find a receiver. And we'll start talking about who I like in free agency coming up a little later. And now I'm going to have to start really looking at the draft guys, because Steelers are going to have to draft a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds this year. Drew, what's up, Stryker? I don't know anything about Deontae Jackson. I'm guessing cornerback depth. No, they're strictly bringing him in to be the number 2 corner. He started close. Let's see how many games he started last year. I think he started the whole season, 16 out of 16. So he missed 1 game last year. Didn't put up, I don't know why these stats can't. Okay, no interceptions last year. Had a forced fumble. 5 passes defensed. 59 total tackles. 49 of them solo. 5 of them in the backfield. 1 quarterback. No quarterback hits. Sorry. So guy's just going to be a guy. He's going to be a tackler. He's going to be like a Wallace, a guy to be a number 2 to our Joey Porter number 1. We didn't need another number 1. I like Corey Trice coming back. Guy looked like he was on fire last year before he got hurt early in preseason. So I'm still waiting to see. And that guy's another big, tall, rangy guy where I thought he might start pushing for starting time ahead of Joey Porter Jr. going into last offseason. So that's where they're at starting at preseason. Joey Porter Jr. progressively got better and better and better as they went on. Of course, Trice was lost for the season. Of course, we had to put him on IR, which means you're lost for the season when you're on IR in training camp. But guy's going to come in, be at worst a depth pick, best number 2 corner. So I'm happy that the Steelers went out and got somebody that is starter capable off of that line. And going down through his career, he started just about every game when he came into the league. 2018, 16 for 16. 2019 looked like he had some injuries. 10 games start to 13 played. 13 starts for 14 played in 2020. Injuries again in 2021, but 12 starts in the 12 games he played. Same thing in 2022. 9 starts in the 9 games he played. Last year, 16 for 16. Looks like he's locking it up and is going to be at least in the mix to compete to be a starter with Trice. And depending on who else we end up drafting, the Steelers want to go and draft another first rounder, high second rounder again. That can be an option again this year. Claude, I don't like that trade. I don't blame you. And we're going to have all opinions on it, and I can understand why you don't. Corey, Johnson was horrible, couldn't actually catch a ball. No one goes the entire season without a touchdown. Can be. It's just crazy stats. Nobody's ever had that many catches and not gotten a touchdown. He had one really good toe tapper in the back corner with just a toenail out of bounds that one game. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes in this league. Guy can play. I like him a lot, but I understand why some Steeler fans don't. Chow chow. They should have kept DJ. He just needed someone that could throw. He really wants to win. Yeah, he would have done much better with Russell Wilson. Thoughts on the Queen siding, Hall? Love it. Love it. We make the Baltimore Ravens worse and us better at inside linebacker the same year they pick up Derrick Henry. I will take that all day. Quan Alexander was pretty much the only guy. We'll go over the Steelers free agents currently that we still have. I got the window up. Just bear with me 1 second. There it is. Out of the free agents, we re-signed. We didn't re-sign anybody yet. We did not re-sign any of our free agents. 2 of them have left, Trubisky and Okorafor, as I talked about earlier in the show. We got Russell Wilson. We got Cam Johnson, the punter from Houston, who I like. He's a mid-range punter as opposed to a low-end punter who we usually have. And then, of course, Patrick Queen, who we stole from the Baltimore Ravens for nothing. Baltimore Ravens could have afforded that. They're going to be hitting them. Their fans are going to be killing themselves saying $13 million a year. We definitely could have afforded that, and they could have. But here's all the guys that are currently free agents. And the only one I was really excited about was Quan Alexander. I'll go through them quickly. Allen Robinson had to go. Too much money. Patrick Peterson, past your prime. Mason Cole, getting a little, he just didn't work out in our system. Levi Wallace, I understand the walk. Getting in Jackson. Jackson replaces him. Montravis Adams, that's a guy I might consider bringing back later after free agency as a depth piece. Keanu Neal I loved, but he's injured. He was left because he failed the physical. Miles Killebrew is a want. Love the way he plays. He's going to be an expensive special teams only player. Marcus Golden, didn't need you. Quan Alexander, great player. I consider bring back Golden later. Quan Alexander, I like Quan a lot, but Queen replaces him. Now that becomes the only guy I was going to go after in free agency, become a guy I didn't care about. James Pierre, Shannon Sullivan at corner, don't really care. Armin Watts, depth piece. Blake Martinez, Mason Rudolph is not coming back now that we have Russell Wilson. Miles Boykin, loved him as a special teamer. Maybe if he comes back for $1 million, bring him back late because he's a good gunner. Michael Walker for outside linebacker, no. Chappelle Russell at linebacker, no. Presley Harvin, goodbye. Rennell Wren at defensive tackle. He was hurt all of last year, didn't get to play. I don't know if they'll bring him back for preseason. That'll be an interesting get. And Elijah Riley as well. It just was not healthy enough or good enough to get off the practice squad. So out of all those guys, I bring back Neal if he's healthy, but he's not. Killebrew is the only guy I like off of this list. Miles Boykin would be second, and both are special teamers. So Steelers, maybe they go out and get another center in a free agency. I'll check to see who's available here at center because that's one of the positions I really didn't look up here before the show. I was looking up a bunch. I looked up some wide receiver. Cushenberry already went. I would have liked to have gotten him, but still, $12 million average for a center of his caliber is not that bad. Tyler Blatz as well for $10 million a year. Adrian Brewer was $7 million a year. They're all gone to new teams. So right now, looking at these guys, I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that jumps off the page to me saying, I want that guy. You guys can tell me different. If you think something different, please let me know. Miles, who is Deontae Jackson? Why is he good enough to replace DJ? Different positions. We talked about him earlier. J-Dub, the compensation for DJ is brutal. Literally no money saved and a quarterback that doesn't solve the issue. Well, as a second corner and a guy that started his whole career, I'm not upset about it. We didn't need 2 once, and we got more money to spend in free agency. I really want to get a playmaking slot. Really want to get it. We haven't had that guy since Hilton left. Chow Chow Dad. If DJ gets a quarterback that can throw a little accurately, he'll be a beast. Yeah, if DJ went to a team like Cincinnati, Kansas City, San Diego, even Dallas, he would have been great in Dallas. He would have really helped them out in Dallas, to tell you the truth. Would have gone well in Miami, in that offense. Those are the big ones, and even Buffalo. I mean, but Buffalo's loaded at receiver. There's really no place for him in Buffalo. But that's a guy that will make plays and always be open, converting all of those 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts. San Francisco, he'd do well. Yeah, get him a quarterback that can get him the ball quickly. He'd be a good fit. Trevor, welcome to the show, Trevor. First time seeing you. Tell your friends, guys, quickly going to do the stuff at SN Stryker on the Tickety Talks, on the Tweety Tweets, X, whatever the hell it is now. And what's the other one I'm on? Instagram, that's right. You follow me on those. This is our show. We usually go live Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Going to have our draft show, which we're on the entire draft, Steeler Nation. Tell your friends. You want to follow me? Usually I report on X before I go, before I do a show. I let you know that day I'm going to be going live. You guys obviously saw it. We are over 2,000 people watching now. Love that. So this is the way we normally shoot it out. And then, of course, during the entire draft, half hour before the show, the entire draft, we usually get players, we get reporters, We get people from Steeler Nation, photographers, article writers, draft gurus coming in talking about it the entire draft, and I'm on the air half hour before, half hour every draft day, entire draft until day 3, when I'm on for an additional hour after that show to go over all the undrafted rookie free agents that we end up picking up and poaching at the end of that. So follow us on SteelerNation.com. Make sure you give us a follow at Steeler Nation on the X and at SN Stryker on the platforms as well, if you guys want to know what's going on with the Steeler Nation live shows, which I get to do. Trevor, do you see some sort of rework or extension coming soon? Also, is cornerback still an immediate need? No, it's not an immediate need anymore, but I still think we're going to draft it highly and may go and draft 2 corners this year. 1 slot, 1 outside corner. Because you can never have enough good outside corners. Like I said, depends on Trice and how he's coming back. I really like the makeup of this guy. Tough dude from Purdue. Tall, lanky guy. If we had 2 towers on the ends with Porter and Trice, I'm a happy man. I'm an absolutely happy man. But cornerback is still an option in the draft. I want a playmaking slot corner. That's what I want. Strong safety probably still coming up for a need, and center as well. Kev, I don't know how you feel about this trade. Don't like it. Told you guys already. But I'll live with it. Patrick Queen was a big next will be Justin Simmons to pair with Minka. I am down for a strong, hard-hitting, strong safety. I actually like a guy way down the list, guy by the name of Calvin Ridley. Also coming out of Carolina. Or sorry, Jacksonville. Sorry, Jacksonville. Wrong blue. Dude started all 17 games last year. Oh, gosh. No, this is the wide receiver I like. That's Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver that I like. Sorry. To replace Deontae Johnson. We'll talk about him first. 78 receptions, 138 targets, 136 targets, over 1,000 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. This is a guy that's an X receiver. Coming in at 6'1", 190, a little bigger, a little taller than most of our X's, but that's what I like. Closer to a Hines Ward side, though not as big. Hines Ward was more pushing 210 at 6 foot, but still around a Hines Ward guy as opposed to a smaller AB or a smaller Deontae Johnson type guy around the 5'10 marks. Still can do some rushing. 9 rushes last year for 23 yards, 3 first downs on the ground. Guy can play. Only been in the league for 5 years. That's comparable to us losing Deontae Johnson. Puts up similar production. 2 years ago, he had 1,374 yards and 9 touchdowns. Guy can play. This is a guy I want to bring in on the cheaper end because nobody really knows. As good as this guy is, I think he's going to be a little undervalued. I think we might be able to get him underneath of 5 to 8 mil range, and that's who we want. And we have a top 10 punter who looks like Bill Burr. Perfect call. Absolutely does look like Bill Burr. That's, of course, Cameron Johnson, punter out of Houston that we were able to poach. That's a big pickup. Also done before any of the other punters hitting free agency. Another good get. Will we also draft the punter? Probably not, but we are definitely picking one up as an undrafted rookie free agent if we do not pick one up in the 7th. Right now, we don't have a 7th round pick. We just traded out of the 7th round to pick up that high 6th round pick with that trade between Jackson and Deontae Johnson. So now we're not going to be picking up a punter in the 7th round, maybe in the 6th, if there's one good enough that we think we might want to bring in. But as far as for bringing in a top 10 punter, a vet like this, looks like Bill Burr, let's go up and pick up an undrafted rookie free agent so we don't have to worry about losing him. Adam Baum! Jackson tore his Achilles in 22, former 2nd rounder, 14 interceptions in 6 seasons. Obviously missed half of 2022 with the Achilles injury. Really good pickup. Exactly. When he's in, he's a playmaker. And that's the things that you have to think about when you have good players coming in. Like KZ is a guy I love. Just look at his stats. When he's in, he's making plays. Forcing fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, passes defense, tackles in the backfield. That's why I love KZ. Absolutely love KZ. If he's healthy, he's going to be monster next to Fitzpatrick. Miles, right tackle, 1st round, center in the 2nd. That's right. We still need a right tackle. Well, I don't know what we're even going to do with Moore. Moore might be gone. We might be looking to trade Moore. because we're looking to move Jones to left tackle. No two ways about it. You don't spend that type of capital, move up in the first round to finally get a top 10 caliber left tackle for the first time in the Steelers' history, because we're always drafting in the mid to low because we're too good. This time, they've got a shot. I'm going to let my cat in. My gosh, my cat's scratching at the door. Come on, Lexi. Get in here. Get in here. Come on. There you go. All right, cat's in the room. Bengals fan, back in the room. I'm in her room. I find it ironic on the Queen side. That's a tasty irony. I will eat up that type of irony all day, every day. I love it when the Ravens fans, bad call. Bad call. We should have kept Queen. 13 million a season. We should have kept Queen. Bad call. Come on down to Baltimore, Horn. That's the way we do touchdowns and field goals. We're going to win the Super Bowl again this year. Go O's! Frickin' Baltimore. Delicious irony. Cheers, Steeler Nation. I'm drinking peppermint tea tonight. I'm still on my fast. I'll start eating again tomorrow. J-Dub. KZ has a problem, though. He's on the league's radar with getting suspended. That's because he hits hard. That's because he plays strong safety the way I grew up watching strong safeties hit. Like Polamalu. Like Ronnie Lott. Like Steve Atwater. Dawkins. Gosh, the guy I used to love over on the Washington team back in the day. Sean Taylor? Was that Sean Taylor? Man, love that guy too. I love heavy hitting safeties. I mean, gosh, we had like Flowers was a hard hitting safety for us. Those are just the guys I like to watch. People that can separate the person from the football and make them think about catching balls in front of them. That's absolutely what I love to see on the field. But got to take the good with the bad with that. Miles, I feel like the DJ trade would have been better without a trade swap. We should have just copped on their picks and kept our 7th. No, I'd rather get a high 6th than our mid to low 7th. It was over halfway down on the 7th. So you're starting to get on the low end of that, but not all the way to the comp picks. That's a smart move. Obviously DJ is better than Jackson. DJ's been to a Pro Bowl, but Jackson has potential. We like his speed, ran a 4.3 in his pro day. So this is a guy that can run. So I'm excited to see, I know he's not the tallest guy, 5'10", 180. That was usually our MO for picking up corners before we started getting Trice and Porter. But still, solid, boom to bust pickup. And hopefully he booms. Trevor, I trust Omar and think Dejon is the best draft guy. Now, super versatile player. Very versatile. The versatility is key, Trevor. J-Dub, we saved nothing with the trade. As of now, it'll actually cost more money because of Deontae Jackson's salary. No, it's still going to be less. And you're talking about the difference in that trade value, maybe 100,000, not even, probably like in the 60,000, 80,000 between 7th round and high 6. Not going to be a whole lot of money. It's going to be under 100 grand. And that offset with the numbers I've already gone through with my head, it's going to be about a $3 million savings. $3 million. Tamper, Omar and Andy are doing the opposite of the Steelers standard of only building through the draft. And that's one example of not being the standard, which I love. Of course, this is awesome. This is something that we get to see other teams do. And now we're the team doing it. I love that Andy and Omar are going against the Steelers standard this year, pulling high-quality free agency. Queen, Russell Wilson. I mean, come on. Awesome. Awesome stuff there, Tamburo. My Duke flow over your head. Aaron is going to be on Kennedy's presidential campaign as vice president. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't follow politics at all. Thanks for that. That's hilarious. Tamburo, Stryker, I wasn't sure we'd be hearing from you at all the season before we began. I thought this is your Renaissance Festival time where you don't broadcast. It is. I just got back from the Sherwood Forest Renaissance Festival in Texas between Houston and Austin. Spent Friday through Monday there. Had a blast. My shout out to my brother in Feargal Blades over there selling the best quality handmade knives you will ever see in your life. and got to see my brother like throw down some hammers and mold some steel there in front of the crowd. They're relocated right across from the joust now in a building and easy to find. But if you want a quality knife, they're expensive, but it'll be the best blade you ever own. I also sell pipes over there too. It's fun to teach people how to pack pipes. But yeah, Renaissance Festival time is always a fun time. Spent the last 10 years here in the great Northwest telling Seattle Seahawks fans they're crazy for not supporting Russell Wilson. He's usually their best player. I agree with that too. There's a lot of Seahawk fans that fell off the wagon with Russell Wilson, and I don't think that there was merit to that either, Tamper. Miles, I want Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle from Texas, 6'4", 366 pounds, beast of a player. Wow. That is 2 men in a man suit. That's 3 cobalts in a trench coat right there for my D&D heads. Freaking awesome. 2 cloud giants in a trench coat. Claude Bishop, DJ will be missed and Pickens will see a double team on every play. And besides, Russell Wilson is going to need weapons. He is. Like, we have no answer. None. For wide receiver. We got to pick somebody up and we got to draft one high. Because we do not have a replacement player on this roster. Because Calvin Austin played the X last year and he was horrific. He couldn't get open. I mean, you guys forget. All you Deontae Johnson haters forget what Calvin Austin was doing in his 3 games he tried to start at the X. I was completely surprised because I'm like, why the hell isn't Robinson starting at X? A guy that's actually played the X before. No, we're going to keep him at slot. We're going to put Austin at the X. Horrific. Couldn't get open. Couldn't get catches. And that's usually a spot you get targeted for at least 10 a game. He'd go through games, 1 catch, no catch, no catch. Guy was terrible. It's like watching Washington out there when he was playing Z. That guy couldn't get open. But he was a Z. I mean, Z's got to get open deep. X got to get open right away. And Austin, who is a left to right quick player, just couldn't do it. He did not pass the eye test in those games. And I told everybody, we're not going to start winning games on offense until Deontae Johnson comes back from injury. And that's exactly what happened. We had our slump. Deontae came back. We started moving the football again and winning some games late. Miles, there's rumors the Steelers will target Calvin Ridley now that DJ is gone. Calvin Ridley is an option. I remember going through a couple of them here. Let me bring up my sheets. Calvin Ridley. Well, Calvin Ridley's my option. That's the guy I like. Is that what you're saying? Calvin Ridley, great. Then that's good. He was the one that I targeted. I went through all of the free agents, same age as Deontae, always a starter when he's in, except for his first year, 5 starts in 16 games, 10 starts in 13 his second season. And then from then on, he started every game, 2020, 2021, 2023. Had a great year in 2020. Of course, the Achilles injury that we brought up earlier in the show. Thank you very much, Steeler Nation, for bringing that to my attention. When he only played 5 games, still decent numbers in 5 games for his average. I guess he's down. I mean, he went from 91 catches a game to 56 catches a game, 59 last year. Yards per game. Those are yards per game. So, yeah, I mean, he's an X receiver. He was like the only legit X receiver that wasn't over the hill. Do not talk to me at all about Odell Beckham. I just went through his stats. Dude is fool's gold. I told you that going into last year when we went to Baltimore. No chance he's going to do anything there. He hasn't done anything since 2016. Guy had 3 years. 5 max. 5 max. His first 3 years, he was awesome. Off year, he was injured. In year 4, 5th year, he had a good year. 6th year, decent year, then dropped off a cliff. Dude is fool's gold. Do not touch Odell Beckham. Don't even know if he's really an X receiver in our offense. I mean, he was at Clemson. He was their go-to guy at Clemson. First option. Early on, yeah, but now, I don't know. He's definitely lost a step. Tamburo, do you think center that Omar and Andy made an aggressive offer, chase the Jaguars instead because their own Tomlin, or is it because he didn't want the quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh? Omar and Andy made an aggressive offer. chose the Jaguars instead. I don't understand what you're trying to say there. Whether you're trying to make fun of Omar and Andy or Tomlin, I know you're going to rewrite that, so I'll read it later. Cody Morrow, welcome to the show. Can you foresee the Steelers trading up for a wide receiver in the first? I haven't gotten into the draft enough to know if there's a guy I've got to have in the first round. Next show, I'll be more into that, probably in about a month. I'll be coming back 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Yeah, what are we at now? May 12th. Well, geez, it's got to be before a month. Don't we have Easter coming up? Draft's usually in April. So yeah, in the next 3 weeks, I'll be coming back with some good picks out of all the positions what I will want to target. Right now, we're looking at center, right tackle. We're looking at wide receiver, like you said right there. We're good at tight end. We're good at running back. We're good at the other receiver positions. Guards are decent. You can upgrade in the draft with a guard. And then otherwise, it's on the defensive side of the field. We're looking at defensive line. Obviously, we always draft defensive line. Maybe draft an inside linebacker higher this year to maybe pair with Queen. Other guys are quality guys, but we need a guy that can be off ball a bit too. So depends on who's coming back healthy. Tamper, Mr. Tomlin's the only coach to ever be swept by a team not in his division, and then he did it again a few years later and got swept by the same team, the Jaguars. So that is why the center chase. Yeah, we should have gotten a center a long time ago. We both talked about this. And Steelers usually do the right thing too, Tamburo. And that's usually they line up their center as their last center is just at the end of their career. We had our chance to grab some people. We did not. And now we've been chasing center, which we were chasing nose tackle as well. We got a good guy with Keanu Bennett last year in the draft. I know you liked him in the draft. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles. We're chasing center. We're not chasing tight end anymore. We were chasing tight end ever since Miller left. Now we're solid at tight end. Washington and Pat. I mean, I like our tight ends a lot. And even I like our third guy coming in with Hayward. Littlehead. Give me a Littlehead. Miles, I love our chance to see Ravens fans melt down. Patrick is our queen. Nothing would make me happier than a pick six Patrick Queen against Lamar Jackson, taking it to the house, in the nest, in the dirty bird bath known as Baltimore. That would just make my day. Absolutely make my day. Q-Dats should have just cleared DJ's cap. No need to take a guy who was about to get cut. They were not going to cut him. They were not going to cut him. He was not a cuttable player, and we got trade value for him. It's better with the trade than the cut. Tamburo, now that the only available centers are just a little bit better than Mason Cole, does this mean that we're definitely drafting center first round? Probably. Center's high. First 2 rounds, definitely. I put money on the Steelers definitely grabbing the center in the top 2 rounds. There's no way they can avoid it anymore. Calvin Ridley, yes, like Calvin Ridley. J-Dub, Queen wasn't going to re-sign in Baltimore anyway, but that comp was money. Yeah, right. Only at 14, it's 13. 13 mil a season. 41 mil over 3 years. Insane. Cheers, Queen. Happy to have you. Happy to have you. And I know he's happy, and he wasn't going to resign in Baltimore because Baltimore was not going to give him money. They threw all that money to Smith, his line mate. 23 to 25 mil a season. I mean, there's a reason he'll be a little pissed off being drafted and being their guy for so long. And now leaving to play for your league-hated rival for 13 mil a season. They could have afforded that. They definitely could have afforded that. And I will equate this pick, interdivisional player, a guy that still has a lot of football in front of him, that's a quality guy that does not get hurt, knock on wood. Dude is still playing at a high level. And that's what I love about Queen. He's going to be a playmaker. He causes turnovers, whether it's interceptions, whether it's forced fumbles, fumble recoveries. He's around the football, and that's a guy that we need. Absolutely a guy that we need. Love that pickup. I still can't believe he went He could have. I was expecting him to go between 18 and 21 mil. Honestly, for his stats and what he is, 18 to 21 mil. We got him for 13. I'm blown away. Blown away before free agency starts. Those guys usually go for that money before free agency starts. We got. Let me give you these numbers really quickly. Patrick Queen, Cam Johnson, and Russell Wilson. Starting quarterback, starting inside linebacker, starting punter. 3 guys. 13. This is what they're going to count against our cap next year. 6, 7, 8, $9 million for a starting quarterback, starting inside linebacker, starting punter. $9 million against our cap for this year. That is the robbery. That is the true genius that no one else is talking about yet on any articles, because that stuff comes out of my brain. That's why you watch our show, Steeler Nation. Tell your friends about Steeler Nation Stryker. Show's usually Tuesdays at 8:30 every week during the season. I get a little bit more excited when we get close to the draft, of course, and all the time during the draft. Best place to see us, obviously, youtube.com/Steeler Nation. Make sure you subscribe to it because you get a ding. That's where we get all of our regulars from YouTube. They know what's going on. Let them know where Steeler Nation Stryker is. Follow me, and we'll have a good time together because my brain's a little bit better than some of the other Pittsburgh reporters, not mentioning any Maddens or one-trick Filipponis. Miles, bringing back Patrick Peterson as a defensive back coach, smartest move the Steelers could make. He might still be playing. He still might be playing some football this year. I can see him come in and play as a free safety for a team. That's what I see coming up. I'm just getting to some other people right here, Rob. I see your cornerback stuff. I disagree. I think Porter's a better tackler than he was mentioned for, but we'll see. He better improve this year. 5 block punts from one dude. You need to re-sign Killebrew. He's a GOAT. I agree. He's my top free agent get, but it's still a want. My top free agent gets from our team for us losing is Killebrew and Boykin, and they're special teamers. Everybody else can go because they've all been replaced. I was going to say Rudolph was going to be my top get until we got Russell Wilson. Now I don't even need Rudolph anymore. Same thing happened with Quan Alexander. I love Quan Alexander. He played great for us when he was healthy last year. Big hitter. But now that he's not healthy, or now that we've got Queen, no reason to bring him back. He's now not even a need, not even a want. He's been replaced. And he's been replaced by a player better than him, both of them. Rudolph was replaced by a better quarterback. Quan was replaced by a better inside linebacker. I can't be upset over any of those moves. And we got a better punter now. So, I have to say. J-Dub, Connor Williams is really the only starting caliber center available. Matt Hennessy from Atlanta, but also not a top center. Thank you so much, J-Dub, for popping those in because I had no idea who was the best centers available. J-Dub's telling us Connor Williams. Thank you for filling in my mental gaps and lapses. I can only study so much before a show. Robertson Burrow, because we have KZ, the safety might not need to be as high enough to get a really good free agent, but we're definitely drafting a safety. And I agree. I think KZ's starting to get toward the end of the career. He's starting to get banged up here a bit. But when KZ's on the field, he makes plays. Separates people from footballs, passes defense, interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, tackles in the backfield. I love KZ. I've always loved KZ. And if we can pair him healthy with Minka, those two can play either position. They can both swap between strong and free safety. Both have started at both in this league. That's when you start having fun as a defensive coordinator, throwing those guys around, seeing where they're going to end up. That's the cool stuff. That's the stuff I'd love to see. Tamburo, it would be great to get Carnell Lake type of guy, serious strong safety to pair with, Minka Fitzpatrick. I agree. I would love that. And that was one of the big bangers that I loved as a Pittsburgh Steeler and forgot to mention. Carnell Lake was one of my all-time favorites. A strong safety that moved to corner when Rod Woodson went down and locked it down and made the Pro Bowl as a corner. His only year playing corner in his career outside of high school. That was amazing. Lake was insane. Facts, J-Dub, indeed. Miles, Steelers will draft Amarius Mims, round 1, big dude, people mover, and a Georgia boy. Awesome. I think that's the center that you're talking about? Guys, when you're saying draft guys, let me know the school, let me know the position, because I haven't done any work on the draft yet. Make me sound smarter. Minka, yeah, we figured out Meineke. Yeah, honk, honk. Anyhow, that's just not the Seahawks players that have always hated Russell Wilson, no matter which version of the Seahawks team it's been, but also the fans who never talk to him. Yeah, but I think he's going to like where he is now. Mags, welcome to the show. Hey, Stryker, not real excited about getting a veteran quarterback for season instead of developing a younger guy. This helps in his development, in my opinion. He gets to live another season with a Super Bowl winning quarterback, been to two Super Bowls, multiple Pro Bowls. This is a guy to learn from. I'm not saying throw the baby out yet with the bathwater, but Steelers may want to draft one of these quarterbacks this year. There's a lot of them. They might have their eye on somebody that they might want to grab. I wouldn't be surprised if we took one in the first. I wouldn't be surprised if we took one in the second or the third. I would not, because we need a third quarterback on the team anyway. Might as well have two people learn from this massive, awesome dude. Because Russell Wilson tone deaf toward the... Okay, I'm not going to go through that. Steelers traded fifth-year cornerback Deontae Johnson from Jacksonville. Traded for, fifth-year cornerback Deontae Johnson. Correct. For Deontae Jackson. Sorry. Dreadlock, you got me all screwed up, my friend. It's going to trade for Deontae Johnson, but then I got... It's going to keep Deontae Johnson, and I got... Now I'm swapping draft picks, and I know why. Why, babe? Hey, because I got high. Sorry, typo. Say Russell Wilson is a... Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah. I'm off of the Russell Wilson stuff. We're moving on. I feel like the Steelers have really been disrespecting Kenny and not giving him a fair shake. Only got one game after Canada's firing. He's been sabotaged his entire time. Training camp is going to determine who Kenny Pickett is. I'm not done with Kenny Pickett yet. I don't think the team's done with Kenny Pickett yet. Could he beat out Russell Wilson in training camp? He has the opportunity to. But I think they're going to honestly split those two like the way they were going to split Rudolph and KP. So we'll have to see how it goes now. Miles, you're right. Steelers have been disrespecting Kenny, but he's Mike Tomlin's boy, therefore guarantees a quarterback controversy. I don't know if it's a quarterback controversy when you're bringing in a great black quarterback in Russ Wilson to play under a great black coach. I'm interested to see how that works out for Tomlin. Ridley is the guy. I would love Ridley. Ridley is the one I want in free agency too at wide receiver. 100% agree with you, Dreadlock. Absolutely. Claude, they now have to take a wide receiver with a high pick now that Deontae Johnson is gone. They absolutely do. We now have to. And this is the Steelers' problem. Like, we dumped Chooks. We're going to need a right tackle. I don't know if Moore can play right tackle. I don't want Moore at left tackle anymore. I want Jones at left tackle. He's built for it. He was playing backwards last year, did well. What did we do when we ruined Dotson? We played him out of position at left guard. Only played right guard his whole freaking career. All-American. Louisiana Lafayette at Etouffee. Right guard. Now getting paid like a man for the Los Angeles Rams. Congratulations on your contract. Man was a member of Steeler Nation since birth. Dad was from Pittsburgh area. Had a black and gold pool table when I interviewed him, when we drafted him. Love me some Dotson. Love me number 69 too. Should have played him at right guard. We screwed up. There's a reason why we got to find one now. Oh, we still have Daniels is okay. I mean, we keep bringing in these old guards. Did a good job. He did a good job last year. I can't be too upset about that. Real Steeler fans don't deserve all this controversy. Soap opera. Yeah. Soap opera stuff. Miles, I want to add the Steelers fans have been absolutely disgusting to Kenny as well. It's been a long time problem, such as the death threats to Dotson. Clean it up, Steeler Nation. Absolutely. If that's the case, especially a guy that is a lifetime Pittsburgher. Guys, all 5 years playing in the stadium before he played 3 years as a pro. Same stadium. Got to be good to those kind of guys. So, Drew Polanski, welcome back to the show. I'm still in shock over the Queen signing me too. He could be this generation's Farrier type of signing. I love it. I would love if he turned out to be a Farrier type of signing. Let's go to his numbers right now. Patrick Queen, only been in the league for 5 years, much like Ferrier was. But Ferrier was being played out of position. I think they had him at outside linebacker. We moved him back to inside linebacker. So in this situation, though, I think they were running a 4-3 in Baltimore. So I think he was at center. He was at inside. It's going to be fun to see him play now as left inside probably or right inside linebacker in our system. Probably right inside to run the show with the green dot. So here's his numbers, guys. 4 years with Baltimore. He's got 4 interceptions, 15 passes defensed, 6 last year, 6 the year before, 5 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries, 13.5 sacks, 3.5 last year, 5 the year before, 133 total tackles last season, 84 solo, 9 behind the line of scrimmage, 6 quarterback hits. That's awesome. That's awesome. Every single season except for one, he was over 100 tackles. The one season he wasn't, he had 98. Dude came in to be a tackler and a 3-down inside linebacker in our system. That's awesome. Hey, Rob, it's Tim. Hard-hitting safeties are a thing of the past. They still have a spot, but now they have to hit within the strike zone, Dennis. It does suck the way that they're taking the teeth out of defense and now have, which I call defensive fines. All the big fines in the NFL go toward defense for hitting too hard. Offense rarely gets those fines. And I think it's sad for players like safeties and inside linebackers that don't make as much money as the offensive guys that get tagged and lose their freaking money for that game check. They lose their whole game check on a tackle. That's just dumb. NFL has to clean it up, make it comparable. Quarter of your paycheck the first foul, half your paycheck the second foul, all of your paycheck the third foul. Do it equitably. Because I think it's unfair to tax these defensive players for playing the game of football off of a split-second decision that sometimes the offense is the reason why they dip that head and they get a helmet to helmet. Is that on the defense? Not in my opinion. Miles, I was saying instead of swapping a 6th for a 7th, we should have kept the 7th and just took one of their picks as well. Oh, I got you. So, guys, I see what you're saying. They probably offered that, but I think they ended up coming to like, okay, the swap works. And the swap works for me. High 6, number 2 6th pick in the 6th, number 2 pick in the 6th round versus over halfway down in the 7th. That's the right pick. Jake, do you think Russ could run our offense? He also has playoff win experience. Could he run our offense last year? No. No one could run that offense last year, except for Mason Rudolph for some reason. Our offensive coordinator was dog crap. Dog crap. Ruined our offense last year. This year, with the offensive coordinator from Tennessee, taking a bad quarterback and elevating him to the number 1 seed with a great rushing attack. Steelers have a great rushing attack. Russell Wilson was at his best when he had a great rushing attack. When they were going beast mode and winning Super Bowls and making it Super Bowls, and they should have given it to beast mode one more time, would have won 2 Super Bowls if they did that. That's the stuff that I like to see. And it's our offensive coordinator's lips are smacking. He knows Russell Wilson can play his offense. And we're going to take some of it off of him. It's not Denver. You don't have to do everything. We have a running attack. We've got a good tight end. We got a good tight end combo. We got a playmaker at wide receiver in George Pickens. We need somebody else to pair with him. So those are the types of things that I look at and I say, yes, he definitely can play in this system. 2nd round cornerback, 2018, 14 picks. 2nd round cornerback, 2018, 14 picks. Yes, for Jackson. Yes, those are his numbers. Absolutely good pickup. Miles, Justin Simmons to the Steelers will happen tonight or early tomorrow. Mark my words. Calvin Ridley will be later in the day tomorrow. Yeah, we can wait till actual free agency starts for Calvin Ridley. He's not going to be a day 1 pick. But I think he's young enough and he's good enough. Steelers are going to give him a good offer. He's probably right now listening to see. I would be surprised if we haven't already reached out to him. Say, hey, look, nobody signed you first couple days of free agency. We're looking to sign you next week. That's a great pickup, in my opinion. A down. A down? How do you think the Steelers would deal with the wide receiver situation? One draft, one free agent. Have to. Like, and we're talking about Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley's really my favorite. DJ Chark, but he's been injured so much, hasn't been as good in that role for a couple years. But I did love me some DJ Chark when he was healthy, and he's a good X when he's healthy. But yeah, Calvin Ridley is my top. Absolutely my top. Number one current coach of the NFL for most consecutive years. Yeah, we know. We know the song and dance. Come on, we're talking free agency today, man, not your platforms. Yes, Queen is a stud. Absolutely right, Dreadlock. Calvin Ridley? Exactly. Simmons? Simmons is not a bad option, too. I did look up Simmons. I think he might be here in my, that I had Simmons in my list here of possible replacements. I said, nope, I did not have Simmons down here. Yeah, so I don't know about Simmons. I did not research Simmons. So sorry on that one. Only so many hours in a day. I think either him or Boyd. Cool. Coaching. Where did Boyd go to college? You talk about the wide receiver Boyd. Man, was he at one of the Florida schools? I can't recall where he went to college just offhand. I know the Ravens drafted him. Should Steelers pair their extra fourth-round draft pick with Deontae Johnson to get CV luxurious need trade with the Chiefs? Well, Deontae Johnson is already gone. We already traded him to Carolina for a corner, so that's not going to happen. But I could see the Steelers packaging some trades either to move somewhere in the draft, trade picks and move in the draft, or possibly in free agency. Steelers have some extra picks we're grabbing here. How do you feel about Arthur Smith as our new offensive coordinator? I'm really excited about it. I'm excited as well, and I'm hoping that the pendulum swing is hitting at the right time. Because right now, all of the teams are built to stop the pass. When you get them out of that base nickel set, and you're forcing them to throw another linebacker on the field or defensive lineman, that's when the rubber hits the road. If the Steelers get a little bigger in this draft with linemen, look out. This could be a really fun year to watch this offense go. Ladarius would be our quarterback number one to let Joey be quarterback two. Deontae is not our new offense coordinator style-wise for wide receiver, and he's pouty. I disagree with the poutness. Everybody's a little hard on him for that. George Pickens did the exact same thing a game after when he took a play off. Everybody let Pickens take a pass. But still, both were dumb. Both were dumb. Bowers, Omar Khan isn't done. He's not. We've got room. We've only spent $9 million, and we were like 20 under. Deontae Johnson is already gone. Exactly. I think Rob was talking about Mitch Morse signed with the Jags ahead of us. Yes. Here's a good trade option here. Ladarius Sweden, extra fourth rounder equals trade. Where you can have only 1 year left. Deontae Johnson's gone. Okay. We absolutely need another wide receiver. Yeah. And we're talking about like even, to Burrow, if we want to still talk about like plays where the Steelers don't usually have a go empty with an X receiver. I can't remember a season where the Steelers did not go into the season without a quality X receiver on the roster since I've been following them since the 70s with Stallworth as the X. I mean, they've always had a great X receiver. Ward, AB. Jeez, Yancey Thigpen, great X receiver. Like those guys. Deontae Johnson I still like. I like Deontae Johnson a lot. So, maybe if we can get our guy back in. Sorry, who was that? Snead. Yeah, if we can get him back, that's a good option. Miles, only center we're drafting is Johnson Powers. If he's not there, I'm going to take Mims all day, every day. Good call. You just never know how it's going to fall. You never know how this draft's going to fall. They're going to know. People are going to know we're taking center. So there may be some people trying to move ahead of us to get center. So the Steelers may have to drop one of those fourth-round draft picks to get their guy, if that's what's going to happen. We did that for left tackle last year. Opinion on safety situation. I love KZ. A lot of people, a lot of Steeler reporters, websites saying Steelers need a strong safety to pair with Fitzpatrick. Guys, we have him. He's on the roster. His name is KZ. Love him. When he's healthy, he's a monster. Playmaker. Put a playmaker next to a playmaker. I'll take it all day. They both can swap positions between safe, strong, and free safety. That's a great piece. If he's healthy, great piece. But I do consider drafting a strong safety high-ish in the top 4 rounds next year as well. Dwalls, how do you feel about us still going after Fields' third quarterback? Nope, because Fields is a trade requirement. Don't touch him. Now that we have Russell Wilson, we are off the Fields bandwagon, unfortunately. I like his upside. I think he has talent. I think he could do well in our system. But I think that horse has left the stables, and his trade value has plummeted. Now that Atlanta picked up a corner, Atlanta picked up a quarterback, Indianapolis picked up a quarterback, we picked up a quarterback. That's it. Those were the only teams that really needed a quarterback, that had to have it. So right now, that first that they were banging the table for, then they are starting to say second. I'd be surprised if he went for anything higher than a fourth. Now, if he went for a fourth, I would consider it. But it would only be a 1-year trade. I believe that's the last year on his rookie contract. Miles, Patrick and Landon are going to knock out Henry. I can't wait to see Queen and Roberts go up against Henry. I really can't. And especially to have them go up against both them and Jackson. We're gonna lay the wood against them this year. Go get Fields. I know you like Fields. I think that's a luxury at this point. Sean Hannigan, welcome to the show. Love the Johnson trade. Good wide receiver, but he was becoming a cancer in the wide receiver room. I understand why Steeler fans don't like him. I loved him. Domi, I think Khan isn't done making moves yet. I wonder what's next. We'll have to see. Tamper, Stryker, I love all safeties you're mentioning. They all have in common style of play Steelers had when Cowers, coaches, and players. 33 Steelers always had hard tackling until the last 14 years. KZ is one of those guys. KZ hits hard. Hilton hit hard, and Hilton didn't get the penalties. Love those guys. Hard-hitting, strong slot corners and strong safeties. LeBron, welcome to the show. How do you feel about the DJ trade? Sorry if you already answered it there. I was sorry to see him go. I love DJ. As a receiver myself, one of the best route runners I've ever seen play the X since AB. Really, that's it. Outside of that, good value. When Jackson is healthy, looks like he's a playmaker. So we'll have to see if he's healthy. Decent size, great speed. 4.3. You're always talking about fast people too, Tamper. He's a 4.3 guy we picked up for Deontae Johnson. Jared, we need Minka back in the secondary, not in the middle. Agreed. Don't want him an inside linebacker. Russ Wilson Muse! Trading Deontae hurts, man. We create another huge hole. I trust Omar, but don't see the vision at the moment. Well, yeah. If we pick up Calvin Ridley, that's the vision. That's the vision the Steelers had. They're like, we're going to grab Calvin Ridley. We're good. We're already talking to him. If they sign him tomorrow, it'll be like, why? Sean Hannigan. Look at Cindy tape and then didn't see the fumble and threats to hold in. Okay, that's an inside combo. Jared, I honestly see more tight end pass catching in this offense. More moves, possibly more Washington, please. Yeah, definitely. Definitely numbers are going to go up, and Hayward as well. Chow, Dad. I'm reading Russell will add competition, but it'll be a tall order for Kenny to come out on top. So you think he'll be able to learn under Russell? The team was noticeably different under Kenny. The one thing I love about Kenny, though, yeah, his production numbers weren't there, but he's a winner. He was Tim Tebow, man. He did not lose at the end of games. Guy found a way to win. That's what I loved about Kenny Pickett. Now, he's got to prove it. Got to prove it. And if not, I think he can learn under him. Domi, what's the next big move for the con artist? Probably not center. All the good ones are taken. Haven't looked at right tackles yet that are available. But that's a position of need as well. Looking at wide receiver. Talking about Ridley tonight. Yeah. Ridley all day, every day. Boyd's not an X. Boyd's more of a slotty Z. Sean, just keep Ridley out of Rivers Casino. Yes, definitely. Domi, would love to see the Steelers draft Brian Thomas Jr. with their first pick. If he falls to them, 6'4" wide receiver, ran a 4.33. Him and Pickens on both sides. Problem is having two guys that are fast. I don't know if George can run X. Guy has to be good in short area quickness to play opposite because we don't run a ZYZ offense. We run an XYZ offense. Always have. Miles, I don't know what the obsession is with the Steelers playing O linemen out of position. It's ridiculous. Play them in their natural position. Absolutely agree. Patrick Queen is only 24. I know. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? Younger than Kenny. That's Miles. Hats off to you. That is the comment of the night. You win that one for me, my friend. Great stat. Stryker, Dreadlocks Tiger said in the chat, and my best friend from Pittsburgh, my other friend, his cousin, we're a Steelers group text chat guys. So please welcome Dreadlock Tiger. I love the guy. Great communications guys, and we're loving what you got to say. Welcome to the family. The Stryker Inside Slant family at SteelerNation.com. Chuck Fathers, is a trade for DJ a good one? People are on both sides of the fence. I like the value. I hate giving up DJ. I think DJ was too good of a player. Probably could have gotten, I would have liked better draft capital, tell you the truth, with that trade. But the upside on Jackson is there. We'll have to see. Miles, Arthur Smith also had head coach experience. He didn't do great, but he is a capable guy. And that's what we like. Say what you want about Tomlin. He's been able to have head coaches stay underneath of him and not be upset about it. Miles, head coach experience is valuable with your assistant coaches. It is. Tyler Boyd? Yeah, the one that just got dropped from Cincinnati. We're talking about the Cincinnati guy there, Steven. Dad, which quarterback do you think would be a better fit for Arthur Smith? Russell Wilson. No questions asked. Russell Wilson's already done it in a run-first offense in Seattle. Didn't have to be the guy. Made plays, off of play action. Kenny Pickett can do it. Kenny Pickett was never really a play action quarterback, not even in college. More of a run and gunner like Roethlisberger. But for the better fit out of those two, I'm going to go Russell Wilson all day. Curtis Samuels is an intriguing option also. That one I could get behind too. That's not a bad option too, Steven. That's why we talk on this show. Tamper, Carnell Lake Rookie of the Year, won NFL Defensive Player of the Week. Nice guy. We had long conversation, but was coming out of Lewis Lips Rib Place delivery guy. So I told Carnell I had to go. Oh, nice. Another great Pittsburgh Steeler. Lewis Lips sinks ships. I got to say that to him last year when I saw him in the stadium. Loved Lewis Lips. One of the best Z's we've had. Alex Starr, sorry if I missed it. How do you feel about Snead or Simmons? If in cap hit makes it seem like more. My problem is my brain right now is fried for the difference between the players. Like, you got to start saying positions so you can start triggering stuff. Are they rookies? Are they going to be drafted? Are they vets? I think they're vets right now. Just my brain is fried going through all the numbers and all the different players that I looked at today. So I don't really have an opinion. I'm sorry, Alec. Miles, Darnell is going to get crazy targets in the red zone this year. Matt Canada was a preschooler trying to put a square block in a circle. He didn't understand scheming in the red zone or anything. Exactly. Our red zone sucked last year. My man. I give you songs and everything, guys. Guys, that's the show. I mean, we've been on here for just a shade over an hour like we normally do for Strikers Inside Slant. Guys, be sure to follow me at SN Stryker. Go on over to SteelerNation.com to be able to follow us. We some of the best freaking articles you're ever going to read, SteelerNation.com. We have a football forum over there as well, which is on point. We're talking all year. Very knowledgeable people, talking draft, talking free agency, free to join. Go on over to SteelerNation.com. I'm over there as Stryker, so you'll be able to find me pretty easily and ask me questions there directly if you so choose. Otherwise, go to follow Steeler Nation on the internet at Steeler Nation for the X, at SteelerNation.com for Facebook and for Instagram. And, of course, me at Steeler Nation Stryker. The Tickety Talks, Tweety Tweets, Grammy Grams, at SN Stryker with a Y. Why? Because I'm crazy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Guys, that's all the time I've got on the show. Just making sure. What's this? Justin Simmons is a vet, strong safety from the Broncos, was recently released. Very good player. Yes, thank you. Thank you for popping that in the brain. Yes. Great show, Stryker. Gonna have to do a draft prospect show. We will, and I'm gonna have some of the draft gurus on that show. Already started messaging them on our messaging platforms through with the writers over at SteelerNation.com. So we'll be talking to them pretty soon. Kenny's problem, not throwing in the middle of the field. Russell Wilson's biggest problem, not throwing in the middle of the field. All the Steelers quarterback is not named Rudolph, can't throw middle of the field as well. Neither could Ben Roethlisberger. So what's different? Thanks, Stryker. Anytime, Mags. Anytime. Like when I was walking past Jason Gilden and punched him in the arm to say hi. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Dreadlock. Guys, thank you for the great show, the great comments, and loved the show, bringing up my spirits. I might have to come back sooner than later because you guys are keeping me knowledgeable. But until next time, Steeler Nation Stryker will be rooting along with you as always.